Hey, perfect spirit. I'm Sam, the Miracle Man. Now let's create a miracle in your life right here, right now. No time to delay. So if you're dealing with the stress, the anxiety, the worry, the panic attacks, I help people let go of that stuff and really tap into their true self, that consciousness, that perfect spirit within you. And that's how I healed, was letting go of the head trash and allowing spirit to take over. So I have a request today to talk about how to let go of the grudges, the resentment. So let's dive into that. So how do we let go of these grudges, the resentment? Well, first thing you have to realize is that this person that you have a grudge against, resentment, they're not thinking about you. It's simply your mind, that head trash, that is keeping that memory alive. And how is that serving you? It's not really serving you, but you can't really let it go like a snap of a finger. It can't be that quick. Usually it's not, because the mind's very sticky. The mind just likes to keep rehashing that event that happened that caused that grudge, the resentment. So it's sort of like PTSD. The mind's keeping it alive, keeping that memory alive. So we can let that go, but it's a little bit of a practice. And I am doing a workshop tonight. It's a little last minute, but I'm doing a workshop tonight, this circle on letting go of PTSD, trauma, and resentment and grudges could be that way as well, considered like traumas, because this obviously has an impact on you, that it's staying alive in your body. If it's staying alive, it's creating stress, tension, anxiety. We need to let all that go. I didn't even mention that the workshop, you can find more at the website, headtrashanonymous.org. So anyway, so let's talk about how to deal with these grudges and resentment. Let's get into it. So you have to realize that if you're in the story feeling anxious, stressed, worried, or maybe you see this person and you're triggered, well, then you have to realize I can either be in the mind or in this moment. They're not one and the same. We can either be in our story, the thoughts, those emotions, or we can be here in this moment. So maybe if you see them coming to get your way out of the story, maybe if you just feel your feet, like where are your feet right now? Or maybe you ask yourself, what color shirt are they wearing? What about their shoes? How are they wearing their hair? Or maybe you're talking to them on the phone, or you see them on social media or someplace, and you're triggered by their voice, their photo. Just notice the quality of their voice, what they're wearing in the photo, their hair. Just notice those things, because you can't be in the story and being aware of this moment. And you have to realize as well that we're all perfect spirit in all these different forms. And everyone is simply doing their best on their mental understanding and how aware they are of that in that moment. Most people are not aware. They're lost in their story, lost in the head trash. I would say 90%, 95% of the people are not really here in this moment. It's very fleeting. They're here a tenth of a second, back into the story, here for a moment, back in the story. So most people are not really fully here. So they're just operating in this very reactive mode of the head trash, these thoughts, these opinions, these beliefs. And everyone is doing their best based on that level of their head trash. Because the noise in the mind gets very, very loud and heavy. And you forget that you are perfect spirit, that your consciousness, that we're all this one perfect spirit, this one consciousness, this one quantum energy. But the mind is completely identified with the head trash and it's making those into various forms, and thoughts are energy as well. So anytime you're in this energy of resentment, grudges, it's very low vibe, and it's really keeping you stuck in place. Like I said earlier, they're not thinking about you, but that mind is keeping it alive, and it's not serving you. It's keeping you unhealthy. Anytime we're stressed, anxious, worried, we're diminishing our own health, diminishing our own immunity system because we're pouring all that cortisol into the system. And that's not healthy. And that's not, just not healthy to do that. So it's really about learning to be here, just step by step. And you can't let go of the grudge like instantly. Maybe some can do that. But for most, it's going to be a practice. Okay, there's that trigger. They're triggering me. Where are my feet? What do I hear? What do I see? Becoming aware of this moment. Just bring yourself back. But you're not beating yourself up. If you get lost in the story, don't judge, don't condemn yourself. When you notice, just simply, gently bring your attention back into this moment. We never want to beat ourselves up. We never want to be critical of self. That creates stress. And for some, it will create autoimmune diseases like it did for myself. Just all that criticism, that judgment was really forced my own body to attack itself. And I see this a lot with people. I never met someone with an autoimmune disease that has an absolute love of themselves. But not in a narcissistic way, but just in this humble way, like, I'm doing my best. I just keep doing, I'm doing my best. And not judging, not condemning, just realizing I'm doing my best based on my level of understanding and awareness. But it's really that simple. But yet we make it so complex that I never thought of it. Resentment is very much like PTSD. The mind's keeping it alive, keeping that past trauma alive. They obviously did something to you that had an emotional impact, a trauma, made an impression. But you can erase that impression by slowly bringing yourself back to here, back to here, back to here. Yeah, the mind's going to create all sorts of head trash on that. It's going to be bored. It's going to be tired of this. It's going to say this will never work. It's all garbage. We need to throw that garbage out and just be here to the best of our ability. And just realize they're not thinking about you. The mind's keeping it alive. So just be gentle with yourself. Be kind with yourself. And just keep doing these mindfulness practices, which is simply coming back to this moment. Yet many are in a mindless state, just operating up in here in the craziness, the stories. But we can get out of those stories. And when we get out of those stories, we tap into the perfect spirit within you. And then that's where the magic happens. That's where the miracles happen, is when you're in a place of perfect spirit, the divinity within you, if that resonates. It's that connection to all that is. I'm even connected to this pen on the deepest level in the quantum field, that we all come from one source of energy. Then it has all these different qualities. But ultimately, you can break down that pen into the quantum particles. And they just come into form now. Create these atoms, these molecules, and create the form of a pen, the form of a human, the form of a microphone, the form of a camera, the computer, the cell phone. Just billions of different forms from the one energy. And you are part of that energy. You're not separate. So when you're feeling the guilt, the resentment, the grudges, you're just really attacking yourself on the deepest level. So we just need to learn to relax, to be at peace in this moment, to accept this moment to the best of our ability. And it's not a desirable moment. Just realize I'm alive. I can change this. I can chart a new path forward. And you can chart a new path forward. You just begin wherever you are. It's not complicated. The mind likes complexity. But it's really simple of just being here, taking a breath, relaxing, just realizing the mind's keeping the memories alive. And when the memories are alive, yesterday looks a lot like today. And tomorrow will look a lot like today and every other day that's come before it. Because the mind likes the familiar, likes the similar. Charting a new path is a practice to step into the unknown. All right, I'm going to log off for the day, but I'll be back tonight doing my circle letting go of the trauma, the PTSD. And it's going to be a magical evening. So hopefully you can join me. Find me over at headtrashanonymous.org. I'm offering $10 tickets. And I'll probably do that in the future. Keep it very low cost. I mean, we'll do them weekly. In May, I think I'm going to do it on a Saturday morning so more people can join around the world. And hopefully we'll have a fun time. It's always a fun time when we get out of the head and dive into spirit where all things are possible. All right. I'm starting to get into this too much chatter. All right. Bye for now.